Guys, please check your audio and video settings. Guys, please check your audio and video settings. Yes, boss. Yesterday, I was talking about how to develop our first Hibernate application. So, session object is the base object for everything. So, using session object, we can perform single row operations and we can also perform bulk operation. We can perform single row operation and we can also perform bulk operations. I hope you remembered all this stuff. Um, to perform bulk operation, we got HQL, JPQL, native SQL, and criteria API, also called query by criteria. Query by criteria. Yes. When it comes to single row operation, it's all about calling various methods on session object. Okay. Calling various methods on what object? Session object. So let's see what is that. Let's see what is that. Class content here, Hibernate here. Okay. Here we are having developing 13th June. Yes. Save and persist method for saving object. Load and get method for loading data. Update method for updating the record. Delete method for deleting the record. Okay. Save or update for saving or updating object. Merge method for merging object. Refresh method for reloading object, and etc. Many things are there. Listen, while doing Hibernate programming, I will say save object. It does not mean we are really saving object in the database table. No, we are saving record generated by. We are saving record generated. We are saving the object collected, data collected from the object, data collected from the object as DB table record. Loading object means selecting record from DB table and storing into entity class object. Updating object means, okay, updating the record represented by the object. Which object? Entity object. Deleting object means really not deleting object, deleting the record represented by the entity class object. Procedure to develop first Hibernate application performing save object operation, nothing but insert record. We have to keep this setup ready. So many IDEs are there, but industry standard is Eclipse. Okay. To that Eclipse, if we add STS plugin, it would be more nice. To that Eclipse, if we can add what? To that Eclipse, if we can add what? To that Eclipse, if we can add, to that Eclipse, if we can add, to that Eclipse, if we can add STS plugin, it can be very this one. Fine, yeah. I think so. Hibernate, JDK, Oracle, Eclipse, SQL developer. Yes, I kept one table ready. Yes, we are ready with the table, boss. Using SQL developer, we created that one. I think very easy to create. I think everyone working with SQL developer only na. Industry standard is SQL developer, not SQL prompt. Okay. Float option will come, check properly. Next. Next. Launch Eclipse IDE by choosing. Okay. Launch Eclipse IDE by choosing. Okay. Workspace folder. What is workspace folder? The folder where projects will be saved. Okay. The folder where projects will be saved. Create Java project in what? Eclipse IDE. Create Java project in what? Eclipse IDE. Sir, it also works on SQL command prompt, Babu. But better practice is SQL developer. Please. Did I say SQL prompt is not working? No, it will work. But it's recommended to work with what? It's recommended to work with what? SQL developer. Because we are Java guys, we don't have much grip on SQL queries. Fine. Okay. Then after creating project, okay, you have to add libraries. You have to add libraries. Okay, what libraries here? Hibernate home required folder libraries and OJDBC 6 or 7 or 8.jar. Okay, fine. So configure SQL developer tools. Nothing is there, sir. Install and launch it. Install and launch it. There is nothing great to configure in SQL developer. Mr. Pavan Kumar, I hope you attended yesterday's class. What I said, just install and launch and create one connection. Okay, and happily it will be done. Happily it will be done. Fine, yeah. After that, we have to think about what? Creating project with packages, creating package with packages. And we just completed, I think, entity class here. Okay, we just completed one entity class. Fine. Okay, people are asking about SQL developer. So 10G also fine, but recommended is 11G. Recommended is 11G. Yes. Yes, 1 minute. I'm asking people to start live streaming also. Meanwhile, this is our IDE, boss. This is our IDE. Fine. Give me 1 minute time. Let me call them for starting live streaming. Yeah, listen. First of all, you have to create one connection, boss. You have to create one connection. Yes. You will get like this. You will get screen like this. You will get screen like this. I have taken connection to database type Oracle, username system, password is manager, host name localhost, port is 1521, SID is XE. Okay. Then test. Username password is wrong. I think it's gone wrong. Let me type system here. Password is manager. Then go for test. Connection success. Then save. Then save. So then connect. Okay. Then connect. Manager. Save. Okay. See how many connections we got, boss? How many connections we got? 2 connections. Okay. Maybe. Okay. So maybe if you are getting problem means you are giving wrong details in the screen. You are giving wrong details in the screen. That's it. Okay. Fine. So how to delete it, sir? Right click on this. Right click on this and you can click on delete and it will be deleted also. That's it, boss. Okay. Creating connection is just giving JDBC details. Oracle database details and JDBC details. Happily it will be connected. See, if it is not connected, do one thing. Adjust with SQL prompt until you get the success. Don't fight with that. Okay. Try once, not happening. Complete your first application using SQL prompt. Okay. Then fight with the SQL developer. Then fight with SQL developer. Right, boss? I think everyone connected back. Everyone, please come back. Here is my SRC folder. com.nt.cfz is com.nt.entity, com.nt. This one. Oh, I think yesterday's table gone. Huh? Fine, no problem. I think we deleted connection. Unnecessarily yesterday's table gone. Fine, not a issue. Not only table, lots of tables gone. In the flow, I deleted just like that. Okay. Fine, not a issue, boss. Tell me, product. No, table is already exist. Oh, that's nice. That means while creating new connection, old tables have came, it seems. That's a good news. We thought we are unlucky, but we are lucky also. Yes, again, we got the product table. Lucky, we are again lucky. Don't worry. Fine. Let's come back. Yesterday, I completed entity class, which is also called model class, which is also called what? Model class, persistent class, domain class. Lot of names are there for this. Lot of names are there for this. But most standard terminology is entity class, because table is called entity. This is also this. Mr. Sheikh Aziz, font is not too big. You keep your mobile in a correct place, it will come. Font is too big. It's not problem with font. It's a problem with your mobile settings. Okay. Keep mobile in a proper aligned manner. It will become small size automatically. Okay. Entity class, domain class, model class. Entity class, domain class, model class, persistent class. Hey, Pozo, yes, you can call it as a Pozo. Okay, you can call it as a Pozo, but it is not technical terminology. Any Java bean is Pozo, this is also Pozo. Pozo class. And 1 minute, one more name is there. HLO class. Hibernate Language Object Class. HLO class, Hibernate Language Object Class. No, don't think that Hibernate is language. No. Meaning is not that. So it is developed to write everything in Hibernate. So that's why it is also called HLO class. Hibernate Language Object Class. Lot of terminologies are there. Okay, fine. Everywhere mini projects will be there. Milind, can you concentrate on for subject? Everywhere mini projects will be there. Okay, boss. Now listen. Sometimes who knows, I want to display the data, boss. So better to have a one toString method also na. Alt plus shift plus yes and yes. You will get a toString method. ToString method. Array, if you want to display object data properly, better to go for what? ToString method. Anyhow, ID generated toString method having ability to display entire object data, boss. Entire object data. Cool. Next, I will develop mapping file first. Okay, I will develop mapping file first. Mr. Off the off, why did you miss yesterday's class? First tell me. Why did you miss yesterday's class? Don't miss the classes like that. Yesterday I spent time. What is need of serializable? Hibernate support disk caching. Hibernate support disk caching. Disk caching means Okay, file in the hard disk going to hold entity class objects data. Okay, that process internal uses serialization. To support serialization, okay, our class should implement serializable interface. Yesterday's video is there. Okay, so virtualization is different, disk caching is different. Don't mix up, Sanjay Kumar. Virtualization no way related to serialization. Don't bring your choice mind terminologies into the picture. Virtualization is different. Okay, there is no word called virtualization with respect to Java. In Java we have externalization is there, serialization is there. Fine, this is recommended, not compulsory. This is a recommended process. Are you getting my point? It is not compulsory, but if you want to enjoy disk caching feature of Hibernate, saving entity objects data in the hard disk memory, if you want to enjoy that feature, so okay, we should make our class implementing serializable. Why? Because Hibernate uses serialization concept in support to disk caching. Serialization is possible only on those objects that are developed as what? Serializable. Class of the object becomes serializable when it implements what? Serializable interface. Okay, come back, boss. Come back. I think everyone settled. Can we start today's discussion? Right. Now I want to develop my mapping file, boss. Mapping file. New. Other. Right now you take XML only. Right now you take what? XML only. XML file. Say next. Just take XML only. Product dot HBM dot XML. Say next. Say next. Say finish. Say next. Say finish. You will get this one. Okay, importing DTD rules is mandatory. Mandatory. Sir, why, sir? If I don't import, what happens? Okay. See, boss, any file name .xml you can take as mapping file, but generally I will try to match with what? Domain class name. Generally, I try to match with domain or entity class name. Uppercase or lowercase, no problem. Okay, any case you can take. But generally, I will try to take in the same case where domain class name is there. Listen, boss. Now, XML tags are basically user-defined tags. If every programmer uses his own tags, how Hibernate can give meaning for them? So Hibernate should make all developers using same tags, same attributes, so that it can apply standard meaning for standard tags and attributes. But how to make how Hibernate makes all developers using same tags and attributes? By telling to developer, hey developer, develop your XML file according to these DTD rules or XSD rules. According to these what? DTD rules or what? XSD rules. Understanding my point there. So Hibernate only giving bunch of DTD or what? XSD rules. Okay, you studied this one in Servlet web.xml. You studied this one in Spring Bean configuration file. Same concept here. Same concept here, but no problem. If anyone is attending my session for the first time, I will keep you also in mind. Don't worry. Okay, don't worry. So it has to tell to programmer, I am giving DTD or XSD rules. DTD means document type definition. XSD means XML schema definition rules. Do one thing, take those rules, import those rules, and write a document according to those rules, so that you will be pressurized to use only those tags and those attributes which I am offering to use. So that all developers in this world who is working with Hibernate will use same tags and same attributes. Okay, so that I can apply standard meaning for each tag. So that I can apply what? Standard meaning for each tag. Otherwise, what happens if these DTD rules or XSD rules are not given by Hibernate? I use my own tags, you use your own tags, X person uses his own tag. How Hibernate can provide meaning for them? It's practically impossible. Hibernate cannot provide meaning for them. Are you getting my point? Definitely, Hibernate cannot provide meaning for that. Sir, how to import those rules here? They are quite lengthy and quite technical. Don't worry much. In your XML classes, you will study more about them. But how to get those rules and how to import those rules? G drive, I think E drive, Hibernate installation. Go to project folder. Search for star.hbm.xml. Star.hbm.xml. So many HBM files are there. Open your choice HBM file. Just copy paste. Just copy paste. Yeah. See the last section. See the last section. I'm saying I am developing this document according to the rules and guidelines that are therein. Hibernate mapping 3.0.dtd file. I am telling, hey Hibernate, I am developing this document by using rules and guidelines, by using tags and attributes that are given as rules and guidelines in Hibernate mapping 3.0.dtd file. 3.0.dtd file. We are importing DTD rules telling that, hey Hibernate, I am developing this XML document by using those tags and attributes that are there as rules and guidelines in Hibernate mapping 3.0.dtd file. Sir, where is this DTD file? In Hibernate jars itself, they are available. You need not to arrange that DTD file, boss. In Hibernate jars, in the Hibernate jars itself available. Okay, there only rules are available. Go to required Hibernate core. There is a Hibernate core. If you observe this jar carefully, here itself you can see that. Here itself you can see that. Here itself you can see that. Here what? XSD. XSD. XSD rules are there na, mapping related rule, CFZ related rule. Similarly, you will be seeing DTD folder also. Similarly, you will be seeing what? Somewhere DTD folder also offering DTD rules. See here, DTD, Hibernate configuration 3.0.dtd. Hibernate mapping 3.0.dtd. You can use XSD, you can use DTD, but somehow in Hibernate XSD is not working properly. They have not fully developed so far, and everyone in the industry is still preferring DTD only. They have given XSD, but still properly not given. That's why everyone in the industry preferring what? DTD only. Don't worry. After 2-3 examples, we also work with what? XSD. For the timing, you deal with what? DTD part. For the timing, you deal with what? DTD part. Okay, fine. So now let me give one point. Acha, 1 minute. Step number 6. Step number 7. Okay. Run the client application. I want to end the development so that I can give other things. How to run the client application here? Go to client application. Go to client application. CTRL plus F11. Or okay. Right click. Client application source code. Right click on client application source code. Okay. What is this? Run as Java application. Choice is yours. Anything you can use it. Fine. Mm, fine. Hibernate is giving DTD oblique XSD rules. Okay, rules for both HB configuration file, comma HB mapping file to make all developers all developers working with same tags and attributes. Okay, okay, same tags and attributes in the development of Hibernate configuration file, comma Hibernate mapping files. Okay, right, fine. Hibernate configuration file. Mr. Sai Kiran, I don't know whether you attended yesterday's class. All jar files collected from Hibernate home slash lib slash required folder plus OJDBC 6.jar. These are the jars that you have added. Fine. Okay. Hibernate mapping file. It makes all people working with the same tags are not there. So DTD, document type definition. Let me take my own time to complete the first application. Okay, XSD, XML schema definition. This is latest. These are building blocks of XML files. What files here? XML files. These are building blocks of XML file. Listen here. I'll tell one simple example to understand the need of it. One semester university said, we are not supplying application forms. Take white paper, fill up your details, submit to us as application forms. Submit to us as application form. Okay. How many students are there in that university? 1 lakh students are there. Okay. 1 lakh people writes their details in 1 lakh formats. Okay. And submits to the university clerk. And university clerk should scrutinize them and should issue the hall tickets. But the problem here, different people uses different formats, different everyone will try to show their own creativity, their own style. Some people will some people will forget, some people will add extra information, some people will not keep necessary information, some people writes name at the end, some people writes name at the beginning, some people writes hall ticket number, some people will not write hall ticket number. That two different information will be there in different places. To confirm whether certain 10 details are there or not there, university clerk has to go through entire document and processing 1 lakh application form in the 1 month time, releasing hall tickets. Okay, even though there are 10 members or 20 members, practically impossible. Practically impossible. Are you understanding my point? Why? Because every student is showing his own talent of writing the application form. So is it going to work out here? So now what should I do? What university should do? University should make all students giving the information in a certain format, certain order. Then they need to print and release application forms. Okay, releasing these application forms. Application forms is nothing but releasing DTD or XSD. Is nothing but releasing what? DTD or what? XSD. To whom? All the students in the world. all the students in the university. Now tell me, all the students in that university will give their information according to certain order, according to certain format. Now, when they receive 1 lakh application form from 1 lakh student for university clerks, it becomes quite easy to validate them or not there. Validate them or not there. Now tell me here. Now tell me here. Okay, here DTD XML files, DTD XSD rules are like application form formats. Application form formats. Okay, XML files are after taking those formats. Okay, filling up the data according to that format is nothing but XML file. Is nothing but XML file. Come on, application form format is XSD DTD rules, and filling that application form with our data by using format that is there in the form is nothing but creating our XML file. Creating our XML file. Suppose actually XML tags are user defined. Hibernate people, Spring people, Servlet people not given DTD XSD rules. Everyone use their own tags. How Hibernate can apply common meaning for your tags? So you should make all developers using same tags and same attribute, so that for certain tag it can apply certain meaning. Okay, ID tag means this meaning, property tag means this meaning, class tag means this meaning, this attribute means this meaning. Okay, since all people are going to use same tags and attributes, okay, that's why Hibernate can apply standard meaning for tags and can use the data accordingly. I hope everyone clear on this point. What is need of XSD and DTD rules? Sir, I want to create my own DTD. I want to create my own XSD. You have to wait until XML and web service batch starts. You have to wait until XML and web service batch. There you will get the clarity. If you don't learn, also not a issue. If you don't learn, also not a issue. Okay, because XML utilization is daily reducing. So if you just know how to work with predefined DTDs and XSD, that is more than enough. Understanding my point there? Okay, fine. Yes. What's the meaning of this? This is called XML prologue here, indicating it is a XML document. This is import of DTD rules, indicating I am developing this XML file according to this rules file, according to this DTD rule file, according to this DTD rule file. Are you getting my point there? Yes. Collect DTD or XSD rules, import statements for creating HB configuration file or HB mapping file. Collect DTD or XSD rules import statements for creating HB configuration file or HB mapping file. HB mapping file from sample configuration file, comma, mapping files of don't try to type, please. Hibernate home slash project folder. Project folder. Go there, search for sample configuration file. Go there, search for sample mapping file. Collect the DTD or XSD statement and import them. Import them. Okay, right. So this is for mapping file. For mapping file. This is for mapping file. Okay. Similarly, I want to give for configuration file also. Later I will develop in CFZ folder configuration, others, XML, any name you can give, but I am taking hibernate.cfz.xml. Cool. Say next, finish. This is XML prologue. Come to this place, go to project folder, hibernate.cfz.xml. Anyone. Yes, in future I will show how to get these things dynamically in Eclipse itself. Till that time, practice this model. This is for configuration file. Okay, Mr. Debudatta, I will talk. There is a possibility of getting these things dynamically also, but for the timing, follow this practice. Hibernate configuration 3.0.dtd. 3.0.dtd. See, name changed. What is the blunder mistake that people do? Same thing they will paste in both XML file because they feel both are same. No, they are not same. Mapping file or DTD rule file name is changing. Please observe, both are not same. This is Hibernate configuration. This is Hibernate mapping. Okay, boss. For Hibernate configuration file. For Hibernate configuration file. So both are different. Both are different. Here root tag is what? Hibernate mapping. Here root tag is what? Hibernate configuration. Got it? So file names are different, rules are different. So tags are different, attributes are different. All are not same. All are not same. Most blunder people do here only. They copy paste same doc type statement in both places. Don't do that mistake. This is called what? Importing DTD rules. Okay, and for a configuration file, different rules should be imported. For configure why we create both mapping and configuration file? Why? Because mapping file for OR mapping, configuration file for connectivity. So how can you mix both? How can we mix both? Mr. You are asking again level 0 question, which I have spent so much time on this. Can't we take single XML file for both configuration file and mapping file? No. Why? Because Hibernate is expecting connectivity details from configuration file and OR mapping configuration from mapping file. Okay, both have their own work. So no question of taking single file. No question of taking single file. Moreover, in one project, 500 tables will be there. Then we have to take 500 mapping files. Okay, writing 500 mapping files information in configuration file directly looks very danger, very awkward, very clumsy. Come on. So that's why they are expecting two different information from two different XML files. Anyhow, you have to specify the names of the mapping file in configuration file only. You have to specify the names of the mapping files in configuration file only. Are you getting my point there or not there? Okay, boss. Right. Let's see the note. Let's see the note. Question. Can we develop single XML file having both Hibernate configuration and Hibernate mapping info? Mapping info. Answer no. Answer no. Because Hibernate framework is expecting database connectivity details from HB configuration file and and var mapping details of different classes and tables, DB tables from HB mapping files. HB mapping files. Okay. Whose whose file names are whose file names are specified in whose file names are specified through HB configuration file. So we cannot mix up both. Okay. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Are you creating your own forum framework? Or are you using Hibernate? You are using Hibernate. So when you are using Hibernate, you should give inputs as expected by Hibernate, or you will design as you want. Suppose you are running my sessions here, you have to adjust yourself according to my timings, or I will adjust to your timings. You are using services of Geo network, boss. Okay, you should agree their terms and conditions, or Geo will agree for your terms and conditions. Geo will never agree for your terms and conditions. Customer only should agree for what? Geo terms and conditions. Got it or not? So when Hibernate says, okay, then Hibernate says, I need configuration details in separate file, mapping details in separate file. Yes, you have to give it. You have to give it. And it is asking for our benefit only. It is asking for our benefit only. So, no, sir, I want to give. When framework is not ready to take, how you can give? The day you create your own framework, you may do that. But as long as you are working with already existing framework, you have to give inputs as expected by what framework? Tell me, in web.xml, location, name, everything we are taking as expected by servlet container or according to your comfort. You are not taking according to your comfort. You are taking as expected by servlet container, right? Now someone is asking me, can I keep configuration file, mapping file in a single package? You can keep, but not recommended. But not recommended. Why, sir? Simple reason. Okay. Simple reason. You can keep, that's not a big issue. Okay, not recommended. Why? Where domain class is there, their mapping file is there, means it becomes easy for comparison. And that too we develop back to back. First domain class, then mapping file. Okay. Guys, you have to show some maturity, boss. Okay, sir, I want to do this, I want to do this, do this. That's fine. But before that, you have to show some maturity also. Okay, when you are using someone's framework, when you are using some software, you have to supply inputs as expected by that software. That is a basic thing we have to agree. Hibernate mapping, yes. Class, yeah. Listen, boss, the people who are attending Spring with me, they might have installed STS plugin. Then only when you type the tags, help will come. Then only when you type the tags, help will come. Otherwise, you have to install STS plugin separately. Okay. STS plugin separately. So I think in my Hibernate videos are what my playlist. One video I kept to install STS plugin. Go and watch, and you will get the idea how to install STS plugin. Guys, anyone observed that plugin installation? I hope I kept one video on STS plugin installation. Search in the playlist of mine. Okay, you will get a video. You will get a video. Okay, you will get a video. Hmm. If if you don't install, what happens, sir? PDF is also there in FB. That's good. PDF is also kept in FB. Please go through that. Okay. One PDF is also there in our FB. You can go through that. In our FB group also it is there. Okay. If you install, you will get some help about the taxi. When I press space, I'm getting all attributes. When I press space, all attributes. By default, this help will not come. You should remember and type the attributes. You should remember and type the tag. Sometimes we may forget attributes because our mind is not there for storage, right? Okay. Mind is not for storage. Mind is only for processing. So we cannot remember all tags and attributes. So control space will give help if we install what? Okay. Install what? STS plugin. Understanding my point there? Yes, STS plugin is actually for Spring Boss, but it helps for all XML files. Once installed, it will help for all XML files. Okay, it even help web.xml. It even help web service related XML. So plugin capability is that. Capability is that. Come on, right? Plugin capability is that. All is one, not different like Spring and STS. No, STS plugin is one that is same for Spring, that is same for Hibernate. Same plugin. If you already installed for Spring course, there is no need of installing for Hibernate. Once installed in any workspace, it will be applied for all workspaces. So there, those who already installed in Spring class, don't install. Those who have not installed already, learning Hibernate directly, they only should install. They only should install. Procedure I kept in the Facebook group. Procedure is kept in the video. Try it. If not coming, let me know. Tomorrow I will try to show how to do that. Actually, in my computer already installed. Tell me. Next name. Fully qualified class name. What is our class name? Product. Fully qualified class name product. com.nt.entity. Table. Array, tables are not case sensitive. Okay. Tables are not case sensitive, but keep the good habit of writing table names and column names in uppercase. What case here? Uppercase. Next. Your class is mapped with the table boss, and one property should be configured as identity property. Right now, my table is having singular primary key constraint. My table is having singular primary key constraint. Okay, when table is having singular primary constraint, okay, that PK column related variable or property of entity class should be configured as singular identity field. What is that property name? Here also PID. So it's better to configure PID as okay singular identity field. How to configure PID as singular identity field? What is the tag we are having? ID tag is there. Name is equal to PID. Okay, ID name is equal to PID. Are you getting my point there or not? Okay, name is equal to PID. Column is equal to PID. So you can write in lowercase also, no problem. And let me give one thing. If table name is matching with class name, column name is matching with what? Property name. Then specifying table names and column names is purely optional. Specifying table names and column names is purely optional. Are you getting my point there or not there? Super. Property name is equal to p name. Property name is equal to p name. Column is equal to, listen, don't copy paste this thing. Keep the habit of writing on your own. Because in the interview nowadays they are asking you to write sample configuration file, sample mapping file. They are asking you to write sample web.xml. They are asking you to write sample spring bean configuration file. If at all they are inviting you to the maintenance projects, please p name. Property name is equal to what is this? Price. Price. Column is equal to price. Property name is equal to rate. Column is equal to rate. Rate quantity. I think quantity. Okay, fine. Yeah. Property names. Property names are case sensitive, boss. Only column names are not case sensitive. Quantity. Sir, what is this slash? Array, when you don't have body and you can close tag here itself by keeping slash, this is equal to this. This is equal to this. Instead of writing separate closing tag, when body is not there, in the open tag itself, you can go for what? Slash. That is called self-closing tag. Okay, now this becomes self-closing tag. You can do that when body is not there. I have not done for class tag. Why? Under class tag, I want to write subtags. Okay, that's why I cannot write for class tag. I have not done that for Hibernate mapping because under Hibernate mapping tag, I want to write some other subtags. Hey guys, except DTD rules, remaining all the things are this. Okay, someone is asking me, why are you taking column names in uppercase? You can take in any case, but to differentiate them, these are column, these are variable I have taken. It's only standard, it's only recommendation. It's not a rule to follow. It's not a rule to follow. Taking table name in uppercase, column names in uppercase is a is not a rule to follow. It's a recommendation. What is that recommendation? Cool, boss. Mapping file is ready. Okay, so with that we decided which table, which columns, but now we have to discuss about which which database, which database it should communicate with. It has to interact with which database. For that purpose, we have to develop what? Configuration file. So configuration file rules related rules are imported. Cool. Okay. Yes. Okay, I already said configuration file property names are fixed. Values will change based on the JDBC driver and database software we use. It will contain connection properties, Hibernate properties, and mapping files information. Connection property means JDBC driver details like driver class name, URL, username, password, etc. Okay, next Hibernate properties means what here? Hibernate properties means dialect. Okay, dialect, all these details will be there. Which dialect you want to use, auto commit you want to enable or not, or you want to see SQL queries or not, this kind of Hibernate properties, caching info and all this stuff. Lastly, mapping file. Listen here, Hibernate properties are optional to give, but connection properties and mapping properties are mandatory to give. Okay na? Right here, Hibernate configuration. Under this, we are having session factory tag. Sir, I didn't understand why there is a session factory tag. Arey Babu, all these info collected from configuration file, collected from mapping file, will create various services related object. And using all those objects, only session factory object will be created or not. Using all those objects, only session factory object only created or not. Using all those objects only the session factory object is created or not? Come on, guys, got the point or not? Using all those objects only the session factory object will be created. Getting my point there or not there? In short, whatever information we are mentioning, those informations will be used in the creation of session factory. Okay, that's why that's why we have got session factory tag here. Recollect other day's knowledge, boss. Recollect other day's knowledge. We configure different services in configuration file, which connection pool, which dialect, which cache, which mapping file. Using these things, different objects will be created, and all those objects will be incorporated in session factory. Then directly all these things we are doing to create session factory object having different services. That's the reason they have given session factory over here. I think now appearance of session fact under Hibernate configuration. Confusing you or making the sense. Confusing you or making the sense. Definitely makes the sense, no doubt in that. Okay, fine. Property name. Property name. Hibernate dot connection dot. Okay, connection dot. Yeah, property names. Hibernate dot connection dot driver underscore class fixed keys. Sir, I don't want to mug up. You can collect the referenced properties from hibernate.properties file, or you can collect from any sample XML file also. Sample XML file also. Maybe all files may not have all information. All files may not have all information. That's a headache. Okay, from sample XML file you can get it. Driver underscore class, URL, username, password. Like this, you can gather lot of information. Or okay, or one more way is there. Way is there. Hmm. Hibernate dot. Okay, let's do what? Project slash etc slash hibernate dot properties. From here also you can get driver underscore class, username, password, URL. Like this you can get it. You can get it. Okay. We can collect sample mapping files and sample hibernate configuration files from hibernate home slash project folder. Note. We can get the fixed properties names, fixed property names of hibernate configuration file from. We can get the fixed property names of hibernate configuration file from what is this? Okay, hibernate home slash 1 minute hb home slash project slash etc slash hibernate dot properties. Okay, boss. We can collect sample. Fine, boss. Yes, property name as the attribute value, body of the tag as the value. Body of the tag as the value. Sir, I don't know XML. But if you know XML, if you don't know XML, that's a secondary. These are some stacks that you have to use. You know HTML, na, that is enough. So hmm, here driver class name. Right now I'm talking with Arakil driver here. Okay, what is this? Arakil driver. Property name hibernate dot connection dot URL. Yeah, the people who don't know much about JDBC, don't worry. In your JDBC classes, you will be learning it. JDBC colon Arakil colon thin colon @localhost colon 1521:exe. This is the fixed here. This is the fixed. The word hibernate is optional. Okay. Next. Property name hibernate dot connection dot username. What is this system? Property name hibernate dot connection dot password manager. Connection dot username system connection dot password manager. Connection dot password manager. These are connection properties, boss. Hibernate. Okay, I can say these are connection properties. These are useful to establish the connection with the database software. Next, hibernate properties. Right now, I'm not writing anything. Wantedly, I'm keeping empty to tell that they are optional. To tell that they are optional. Sir, what about dialect? Or if you don't mention, it will be picked up automatically. If you don't mention, it will be picked up automatically. Are you getting my point? It is not driver hyphen class. It is a driver underscore class. Driver hyphen class is in Spring Boot or Shankar Karra. Don't use your Spring knowledge in Hibernate. Okay. Shankar Karra is saying, sir, it is not driver underscore class. It is what? Driver hyphen class. That is knowledge of Spring Boot. Please don't mix up. Okay. Now listen carefully. Hibernate properties I am not untedly writing because to give the feeling they will be collected automatically. Dialect I am not writing here. Dialect I am not writing here because it will be picked up automatically based on the other information we are providing. So straight away I am going for mapping file names. You have to configure names of the mapping files also. There is a tag called mapping. There is an attribute called resource. Okay. Configuration file, mapping file, not there in the same package. That's why you have to mention package name. Why slash sir? Why not dot? If it is a file slash, if it is a class dot, always remember anywhere in Java, while mentioning class name, package name will be having dots. While mentioning, come on, while mentioning wantedly, I am not writing any Hibernate properties. Dynamically, I will add. While writing file name, so package names will be separated with a slash. The package words will be separated with a slash. Com slash nt slash. Okay. Entity slash product dot or dot product dot hbm dot xml. Com slash nt slash entity slash product dot hbm dot xml. You have to give the name and location of the mapping file. Sir, you are not writing any Hibernate properties. I said, no, these are not mandatory. They are optional. If you give, fine. If you don't give, also they run with some default values. Okay. So this one, five. Five details are minimum and mandatory. Minimum and mandatory. Yes. Someone is asking, sir, show underscore SQL. Array, I said, na, optional. Dynamically we add it. So tell me here, this is speaking about where to talk. This is speaking about which class and which columns. Okay, now I should develop Hibernate persistence logic. I should develop Hibernate persistence logic. Everyone getting my point there or not there? Okay, fine. New class. Save object test. Save object test. Main method. Save object test main method. Yes. Okay, boss. Let's see this. Let's see this. Save object test main method. Configuration. Configuration. CFZ is equal to null. Yeah, here also some improvisations are there. Don't worry. Configuration CFZ is equal to null. Choose the correct import. Choose the correct import. I have a practice of not declaring local variables in the middle of the method. I declare them at the top. Okay, I declare them at the top. So that all local variables will be there at the top, but all local variables must be initialized. That's why I'm initializing CFZ with null. I'm initializing CFZ. That's a coding standard. You may follow, you may ignore. I don't have any problem. Activate Hibernate framework, also called Bootstrap Hibernate frame. Bootstrap Hibernate. Bootstrapping means activating. Okay. CFZ is equal to new configuration of. Okay. Supply Hibernate configuration file as input. As input file. As in cfz.configure. Tell me here, am I taking hibernate.cfz.xml? Yes. Okay. Listen, I have to supply both file names as inputs, but this configure method is taking only one file name. So that's why we don't give mapping file names separately. We mention them in configuration file. Through configuration file only, mapping file names will be clarified. Through configuration file only, mapping file names will be collected. Why they have done like that? Okay, Shravani Muppagoni, please listen carefully. Why they have done like this? Or if project is having 500 tables, we prefer taking 500 mapping files. So mentioning 500 mapping files in Java code is horrible. Time to time mapping file count may increase or decrease. So tell me, adding them through configuration XML file easier, adding them through Java code is easier. Adding them through XML file easy. That's why they are collecting names of the mapping file through configuration file. Moreover, there is no default names for mapping files. So Hibernate is aware of mapping files only through their names specified in configuration file. Only through their names specified in configuration file. Everyone getting my point there? Come on. There is no provision of passing mapping files to Hibernate separately. But there is a provision to specify configuration file. Generally, configuration file is one per database, but mapping file is one per table. In one project, so many tables will be there. Passing so many mapping files directly through Java code is meaningless. That's why no provision is given. But they need to tell the name of the mapping files, okay? Because there are no default and fixed names also for that file. So that's why they have given provision to specify them through configuration file. They have given provision to specify through configuration file. Making sense or not? Making sense or not? Understood or not? Try to apply basic, simple thoughts. Simple thought. Don't think heavily. Listen. com/nt/cfz/ what is this? Hibernate.cfz.xml. com/com// you have to keep here also. /com/nt/cfz hibernate.cfz. Sir, I have taken default name only, file name, na, but it is not there in default location. It is there in a different location, our choice location. That's why you have to specify name and location of Hibernate configuration file. Are you getting my point there? Come on. Yes. Next, build session factory. Build session factory. Build session factory. Yes, listen here. This slash is part of syntax. Fine, leave it. If you don't specify, also no problem. Okay, leave it. We'll try. That's a. Yeah, configuration files are indirectly giving mapping file names also to the configure method. Indirectly, we are giving both configuration file and mapping file name. Okay, build session factory. So I'm going to take session factory. Factory is equal to null. Factory is equal to cfz dot build session factory. Nice. Control plus shift plus O. Open session. Open session. Session SCS is equal to null. SCS is equal to null. SCS is equal to factory dot open session. Okay, open session. Yeah, in this line only, whatever services we mentioned in configuration file, like connection pool, cache, dialect, XYZ, whatever services we mentioned in mapping file, all those services will come as small objects. Come on. Array, by using these details internally, one small connection pool will be created. By using these details internally, one small connection pool will be created. Everyone getting my point there? Fine. Okay. Yes. All those objects are created. Having those objects, this session factory is created. And from this factory dot open session method gets one connection object from connection pool. Okay, having that connection object, it creates and returns session object. In the session object also, other information also will be there, like OR mapping information. That's the reason I call session object as connection plus plus. Okay, right. Create entity object. Okay. Sushil or whatever, whoever you are, we cannot say directly for connectivity class. It is basically connectivity plus instruction to Hibernate, like caching instruction, dialect instruction, other instructions also can be given, but mainly for connectivity with database. Mainly it is for connectivity with database. create entity object to save with database software. Yes. Product prod is equal to null. Product prod is equal to null. Prod is equal to new product of. Okay. I have to first set data now, boss. Prod dot set PID. In future, we'll generate product ID dynamically. Don't worry. Prod dot set P name table. Prod dot set quantity. Prod dot set quantity. Okay, set price 6,000. Prod dot set quantity to. Prod dot set quantity to. Prod dot set quantity. We are ready with. We have taken entity class object data. Entity class. We created entity object with data. Fine, boss. Now I am taking try. Now I am taking what? Try. Listen here. All non-select operations in Hibernate, all non-select operations in Hibernate must be taken as a transactional statements. What statement? Transactional statement. What do you mean by that? Ability to commit or roll back the work. If you take as a transactional work, we will be having ability to commit or roll back the work, do or undoing that work, doing or undoing that work. We'll get a control, okay, doing that work or undoing that work. All non-select operations in Hibernate. All non-select operations in Hibernate. Array, this is Vivek Pandey. Right now, we are just seeing for example, Babu. If you have a object, how to save the object. That's one example. That is, if you are interested, use a scanner, get the data from end user, and put the data into that. And moreover, how object creation is tight coupling. First of all, tell me. You and your analyzation. How object creation is tight coupling? Tell me. Tight coupling with what? Tight coupling with what, Ra? You just used one fancy word. Tight coupling with what? I am asking reverse question, Mr. Vivek Pandey. You used word tight coupling with what? Tight coupling with you. Mr. Vivek Pandey, reply. You used a fancy word tight coupling. Tight coupling with what? With your mind, with your tongue, with your pocket, or with Hibernate? Reply, man. Don't use the word for the sake of fanciness, Ra Babu. Tight coupling with what? Yes, I am hard coding data. You should use the word hard coding. You should use the word hard coding. Example sake, I have hard coded. In future, we can collect from end user by using scanner. What is there in that? In future, we can collect from end user by using the support of scanner. Don't worry. All non-select operations in Hibernate must be executed as transactional statements. So that we can commit or roll back, okay, those operations. So that we can commit or roll back those operations. Yes, it must, boss. It is must. All non-select operation must be executed as transactional statements. Listen carefully. So there is something called transaction. I'll talk much on transaction later. It's a Hibernate one. Transaction Tx is equal to null. Tx is equal to session dot begin transaction. But you have to import correct transaction, ra babu. Don't import Java X dot transaction. Try to import Hibernate transaction. Correct transaction is very, very important. Hibernate dot transaction is very important. Tell me here. Internally calls. What is that? Internally calls con dot set auto commit false to begin the transaction. Internally calls con dot auto commit false to begin the transaction. I request all people to listen in the mobile once power cut gone. Don't show that one as excuse. Please guys, when you lost the power, if you are not able to listen in the laptop, connect to mobile data, connect through mobile data. Please listen the class in the mobile. Using mobile data, use some common sense. Because power problem is quite common in India. So that's why whenever power gone, okay, please listen the class. Please listen the class using mobile data. You cannot show that one excuse. So repeat entire class one more time. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. Don't worry. Whoever missed the session because of power cut, as of now, don't have tension. Today's session is also there in the YouTube. You can go and watch. Fine. Tell me here. Internally calls con dot set auto commit false to begin the transaction. Okay, to begin the transaction. Set auto commit by default true, but now it is making this one. Fine. Yes, Hibernate throws unchecked exception, but wantedly to get control of commit rollback in our control, I'm wantedly taking try catch. Not for exception handling. To do commit rollback perfectly, we are taking it. Okay. Next, session dot save prod. Session dot save prod. Save object. That's it. Okay. Now I'm going to take one Boolean variable here. Boolean, first listen completely. Boolean flag is equal to false. After disabling auto commit mode, we are calling session.save method. If things are going smoothly, no tension, I am taking flag true. Everyone should focus, focus. I'm taking flag true. I'm taking flag true. Okay, everything gone smoothly. That's why flag true. Catch. Common exception in Hibernate is Hibernate exception HE. HE dot print stack trace. But if any exception comes, I am taking flag false. Any exception raised, I am taking what? Flag false. Come on. Finally. What is that here? Finally. Mr. Katsubja, all non-select operations in Hibernate must be executed as transactional statement. That means compulsory. In one worst situation, not required. I will explain that one later. But otherwise, it's all, you should execute all non-select. Non-select means insert, update, delete operations in Hibernate as a transactional statement. Listen here. Flag true means everything went smooth. Commit the transaction. Flag false means something gone wrong. Roll back the transaction. Commit or commit. Okay. Commit or roll back the transaction. Okay, boss. If flag is equal to true. Okay. Tx dot commit. Tx dot commit. What is this? Internally calls. I'll explain transaction code a lot in the coming days. For the timing, you just remember what is what. Internally calls con dot commit. Whatever data that is generated. Come on. Okay. Sir, why are you taking variable name as flag? My choice, boss. My choice. My choice. Okay. Flag state is on and off. Boolean variable state is also true, false. I feel both are sounding similar. That's why I'm taking flag. That's it. Else. Tx dot rollback. Tx dot rollback. Internally calls con dot rollback method. Internally calls con dot rollback method. Fine. And this guy asked me one question. Why don't you use if and else instead of flag? I didn't really understand what you are asking, mister. Again, Vivek Pandey. Again, one more blunder. I have to use if and else along with commit and rollback. And in the if and else, I have to write a condition. I think you have to check your programming basics once. Why don't you use if else instead of flag? I'm doing that one only. Na? I have to use a flag. I have to use if and else. I think you have to improve your programming basics, mister. You are having excitement, not the mind. Mr. Vivek Pandey, you have excitement but not the brain. Sorry to say directly on your face. Excitement does not work. Before you ask something, you have to verify once. What's happening? What's happening? Okay. Right. Flag is required. If and else will be required. Guys, if I feel question is important, question is silly, then I will paste in the public domain. So that's why before you ask a question, please be careful. Good question I will post, silly question also I will post. So that's why don't excite and type the question. Unnecessarily people will laugh at you. Okay, boss. Control your excitement. Give 5 minutes time to yourself before putting question in the chat box. Yes, boss. Internally calls con dot commit so that record will be inserted. Okay. Insert query results will be inserted permanently. Inserted. Roll back. Okay. Any problem is there? Record the query, insert query executed, but results will be rolled back. Results will be rolled back. That means not committed. Next. What is the right place to close JDBC objects here? Finally block. Finally, don't worry. In future, I'll introduce try with resource also. Close session object. What's the right place to close JDBC object? Finally block. Yes, someone asked me, why are you taking try catch when Hibernate throws unchecked exception? I am taking try catch for these reasons. To do transaction management and to close JDBC objects. I don't know who asked this question. I hope now you got an idea why I'm taking try catch blocks. Though Hibernate exceptions are unchecked exception, he has asked me one question. Why are you taking try catch, sir? I am taking try catch so that I can do all these things. I can do transaction management, commit rollback works. I can do even closing of JDBC object. Don't worry. In future, okay, we will avoid finally block by using try with resource also, by taking the support of try with resource. This is the best way of writing client application code in the standalone setup. Layered application, different story. I will come to that later. But in standalone environment, this is the best way of writing code. Okay, in future, I'll improvise this by using try with resource also. Don't worry. Close session. Okay. Session dot close. Releases connection object back to connection pool. Close factory. Factory dot close. Okay, releases all the resources that are having with session factory, connection pool, dialect, caches, everything, and also deactivates Hibernate. The activated framework will be deactivated. When Hibernate is activated, when I create configuration object, when Hibernate is deactivated, when I close session factory object, it will close session factory, okay, by releasing connection pool, caches, dialects, etc., etc., and also deactivates Hibernate framework. With this, Hibernate framework is over. Okay, end of the finally block, end of the main method, end of the class. So where is the instruction to save the object? Here is the instruction to save the object. Anyhow, this will be successful only. That's why flag becomes true. That's why if true, tx.commit execute and record insertion is confirmed. Record insertion is confirmed. Suppose if I try to insert same value 444 one more time to PID column, then exception comes, flag becomes fall, and rollback will take place. Again, rollback to take place. Tell me, easier, not easier? I think these three objects we already played like anything. This is normal entity object creation. Fine. Only this part is extra. This a try catch finally extra. Okay, this saved session dot save also old one. Only this transaction management extra. I hope you can develop on your own without seeing my code. Can you develop or I should give the code? Okay, try without seeing code. No, this is not DAO class. You call it as a client application. In layered application, DAO class comes into picture. Yeah, those who can try it. Sir, sir, this is to begin the transaction. Okay, this is to begin the transaction. To tell that I am removing auto commit. Okay, I am removing auto commit. I'm okay. Now onwards, until I say commit, don't commit. Until I say rollback, don't roll back. By default, auto commit is on the database software. No, I don't want to have. I want to take that into my control. By checking the conditions, I want to take the decision of committing or rollbacking. By checking the condition, I want to take the decision of committing or rollbacking. Fine. Let it be. Run on Java application. Yes. Save it. Okay. Save it. Okay. Actually, things are done, but nowhere I have written message. So that's why we cannot see confirmation. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Go to SQL developer. Go to data tab. One record is there or not there? One record is there or not there? Am I using any SQL queries? Okay. Am I using any SQL queries? Object is saved. Object is not saved. Am I using any SQL queries? Right. Sir, no dialects are created. Dialect will be picked up automatically. Right. Hmm. Dialect is picked up. Dialect is picked up automatically based on the driver details it has taken. Okay, but don't try to have same number, boss. 442 chair. Save it. This time confirmation message also comes. Object saved. What saved here? Object saved. 442 chair has come or not there. Sir, SQL yogis for MySQL ra babu. Samreen, SQL yogis for MySQL, not for Oracle. Not for Oracle. I want only price should go to database. Other property should not go. Then what should I do? Then what should I do? There is a one more provision for that. I will talk later. Okay. First, concentrate on complete object save. Mr. Suchitra, time is there to get into that discussion. Wait. While closing Hibernate object, again try catch not required. Finally block JDBC. Array JDBC exceptions are checked. That's why try catch is taken inside the finally. Cherry Brahma. But Hibernate exceptions are unchecked exception. That's why while closing session factory in the finally block not required. Begin transaction is optional or mandatory? Mandatory. 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 Commit rollback is also mandatory. Anil Kumar, you are not having control on typing. You don't have control on typing. Please check it out. Samarin Begum, I don't have SQL developer. What should I do, sir? Do one thing, work with SQL prompt. What is there in that? Work with SQL prompt. Whatever regular SQL prompt is there, do that. Whatever regular SQL prompt is there, do that. Yes, while log messages are coming, array configuration session factory internally generates, okay, generates lot of log messages. When I explain line by line execution, you will get idea. When I explain line by line execution, you will get idea. Okay, fine. So this is first level. Everyone should complete it by tomorrow. Okay, right. Internal flow, I will tell, don't worry. Sir, can I use Lambda API? Yes, you can use. I will introduce one fine day, don't worry. First habituate to this, then I will introduce Lambda API. Okay. Sir, you said right now I have not used it. Sheikh Gulen Muhammad. Right now I didn't use that feature. In future, I will use that feature. Sir, SQL developer username sysdba password. Sir, you have to give regular username passwords only. We have to set auto commit to false. Still, we need to roll back. Actually, calling rollback is optional in this situation. In this situation, but better to write like this because in future 2-3 persistence operations will be there. One fail, one success. At that time, rollback is very useful. Okay, I'm just giving template. Today, if you don't write rollback, also no problem. Sai Kiran, today. Once show in SQL prompt also how to create table. Confusion while creating tables, sir. Sir, if you don't know how to create table in SQL prompt, first urgently join in Oracle classes. First urgently join in Oracle classes. Because you are feeling I cannot create table using SQL prompt means I think you are still not fit for what? Hibernate classes. Please join in Oracle classes or please complete JDBC, then think about it. Okay? Okay, you are, because it's a regular one. It's a regular one, boss. Okay, since that guy is asking, here is my SQL plus. Here is my SQL plus. Tell me. Connect system manager. Mr. Sai Kiran, can't you write create table query here? Don't use the word confusion when you cannot do the things. What is confusion? You know the things, but you are not able to do. That is called confusion. You are totally unaware of things. That is not confusion. That is called lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge should be improved. I want reply from Sai Kiran. Guy, you cannot create table in the SQL prompt like this. Mr. Sai Kiran, can't you create table like this? Should I write that one also? Grow up, man. Grow up, please. It's a regular one only. It's a regular one only. It's a regular one only. Either learn JDBC or learn Oracle. Sir, don't use me when until I introduce, please. Yes, if you have 100 tables, definitely you should take 100 mapping files. Ruchita, your Oracle is corrupted or Oracle related services are not started. Sai thinking, sir, teaching SQL prompt based queries, sir. No, no, no. He's saying that he don't know how to open SQL prompt. Then what should I do? Yes, interview purpose, you should be in a position to write mapping file and that one. Please take one session on Oracle 11G SQL prompt. How to configure Oracle 11G without project, because I'm ready to set up file. Mr. Sheikh, whatever knowledge you gained in Oracle classes, JDBC classes, same knowledge. Nothing great here. Nothing great here. Okay. There is no need of any configuration, Mr. Sheikh. Install Oracle 11G over. SQL prompt comes, connect like this, start writing queries. Start writing queries. Start writing queries. And one more guy came. Don't search for shortcuts in life, Ra Babu. Don't search for shortcuts in life. Without having basics of SQL, basics of JDBC, don't dare to sit. Fine. If you don't have JDBC, you can learn parallelly. But basic knowledge of SQL is required. Some people are keeping question how to open SQL prompt, how to do it. For them only I have given SQL developer, right? And compared to working with SQL prompt, working with SQL developer is very easy. Working with SQL developer very easy. It's all about right click, double click. Those who don't know Oracle, work with SQL developer only. Don't work with SQL prompt. PLSQL knowledge is also required in future. Basic knowledge is required, Rababu. Please, those who don't know Oracle, try to work with SQL developer. That is very easy. GUI based na right click, left click, double click. That's it. Task is over. Task is over. That much easy it is. Okay, let me create one workspace and github.com. Sign in. Sir, SQL developer is only for Oracle. SQL developer is not for MySQL. Debanshu, if you ask 10 times also, my answer will not change. SQL developer for Oracle, not for MySQL. Okay. NTHB 914. NTHB 914. Create repository. Create repository, and here is the URL. Here is the URL. Okay. Done. Yes. Okay. This is the URL. Please use it. I'll share the code to this URL. This is the GitHub URL of your batch, boss. This is the GitHub URL of your batch. Same Natraz world, but this time it is NTHB 914. Thank you. Thank you. Please gather basics of SQL in order to attend Hibernate. Because if you don't know what is table, what is column, what is primary key, sorry, it's impossible. Amul, how to get motivated all the times? You assume your life without job. You visualize your life without job. You visualize how your life will be. Without job, how your life will be. Begging money from others, doing digital begging, doing what? Digital begging. Give me Netflix ID, give me Zoom ID. You assume your life like that. Automatically motivation comes to do hard work. Or, okay, or, or, okay, you assume your life. You ask parents not to pay money for 3 months continuously. Then you think about arranging that money on your own. Then you will be knowing the value of the support they are giving. Then motivation comes. If you are enjoying minimum comforts, you never understand their importance. Okay, boss. That's what I'm saying, sir. Digital begging, begging money from parents, begging money from friends. That you want that life forever? Yes. You want that life forever? Then don't do hard work. No problem. You don't want that life? Okay. You don't want that life? Then do hard work. It's the simplest way. Right. Thank you. We will discuss later.